Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Gaijin is celebrating National Foundation Day in Japan, and this means there are a bunch of discounts for premiums, and also there is some decals and also some decorations that you can get, which are pretty fun. In this video, and we're going to go through them all, we're going to give some reviews to the premium vehicles, and also just let you know what's going on. Also, at the same time, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get in there. So first of all, the things that are available to everybody. First, you have the decal, which is the symbols of Japan decal. All you have to do is play 3 battles using Japanese vehicles at rank 3 or above, and you can get yourself these symbols of Japan. So that one isn't that hard to do. And then you have a special one, which is for, of course, the Dakimakuras. We talked about them yesterday. The body pillows, which have come in. The Omaneko ones, the mascot from the Air Forces of Japan, or a specific squadron, I should say. So the way that you get access to the challenges for this one is you go to the gaijin.net store, you log into your account, you go to the activate code section or redeem kind of bonus code section, and you type in National Foundation Day, all one word, capital N, capital F, capital D, all else lowercase, and it will unlock the challenges for you. So then all you have to do to get these things is you need to earn 20,000 mission points while playing with Japanese vehicles, rank 3 or higher for the normal edition, and then the limited edition, you have to earn 40,000 mission score while playing with Japanese vehicles of rank 3 or higher. So basically, it is a Japan day today to get yourself the body pillows, to get yourself the decals, and everything else. Along with those types of things, they are also doing a bunch of discounts on the Gaijin store. These are for packs, which are 50% off, and you can get them basically until the 18th of February. When it comes to the decal and also the body pillows, those are also available until the 18th of February. So you have a week to pretty much sort out all of them. The packs themselves are looking pretty nice. You have the Type 90B Fuji pack, the Type 16 FPS pack, also the Yamashiro, the starter pack, the A6M5 Ko, and also the T2. So a lot on offer here, which is pretty good. If you want my specific picks, obviously the Type 16 FPS and the Type 90 Fuji are up there. The starter pack is very good for the plane, and also the A6M5 Ko is returning, which they removed previously, and that one has not access to the Pacific campaign, which is actually kind of sad. So they did make it worse, but it's still pretty good. Right, let's get into the reviews for the vehicles. If you want to actually see any of these, or if you want to buy any of these, I'll leave links in the description and a pinned comment in order to do so. So let's go through the premiums that are on offer. The first one is the Type 90B Fuji. This is basically just a standard Type 90. The only difference is that it gets access to a camo net, which gives it a little bit of riz, I suppose. The vehicle itself is fantastic. If you've never played the Type 90, it's one of those experiences that you need to give yourself. The things that it lacks: doesn't have a ton of armor, but doesn't need a ton of armor. Has very good gun depression because it has hydrogen pneumatic suspension, has a 1500 horsepower engine so it can fly about the place, and also it has access to a great targeting speed and a great reload since it has access to an autoloader at the back. Now, the vehicle itself has a few weaknesses, as I said. The armor isn't exactly great, but once again, you're not supposed to be trading with this vehicle in that way. You're supposed to use its advantages to be able to get the first shot off and then go from there. It does have access to smoke grenades, which is nice. It does also get a 50 cal, which is pretty cool, even though it does have limited elevation on it because of where it is actually mounted on the vehicle, which has been kind of annoying for me in the past. But if you're looking for a vehicle to basically grind out the whole of the Japanese ground tech tree, this one is fantastic to do that with. I would say it's generally better to grind through the tech tree, but I know a lot of people who don't and just want to buy a high-tier MBT and use that to grind it out. And this one is definitely one you can do it with. It's super simple to use. As I said, it is a very aggressive vehicle, and with the JM33 round, which isn't exactly the best at its BR, but good enough to be able to go through everything, you'll have a fantastic job with it. One of the biggest issues with the Type 90 is actually grinding them out in the tech tree in terms of modifications. Well, with the Type 90B Fuji, you don't have to do that. It comes spaded, and of course comes with the premium bonuses. You also get an LWSLR, which is really nice, so you'll know when you're being targeted by stuff like helicopters or people from different areas, so you can react accordingly, which is quite good. It does only have Gen 1 thermals, but that doesn't really matter. You don't need thermals to be able to see massive chunks of vehicles coming around. The actual kind of, I suppose, look of the game has made it a lot easier nowadays to see targets, which is very nice. And if you cock up a shot, or if your shot doesn't do as much damage as you need, you only have to wait 4 seconds, which a lot of vehicles have to either wait 7.1, 6.5, or 5 at the highest, whereas this can out-reload pretty much all of them, which is really nice. The Type 16 FPS is a step down from the Fuji. Instead of it being an MBT, this is more of a light tank. And as a light tank, you know, it still has access to a lot of really cool things. The difference between the Type 16s is pretty simple. It's the rounds. So this one's at 9.3, so it only gets access to DM23, whereas the one in the tech tree, that's like the standard one that you would play, has access to a better round, and then the other one has access to a different round too. This is the only thing separating them. Everything else is the same. They have really good mobility, they have obviously great thermals, they have good scouting, and of course the 50 cal on top too. So this has a 105mm JSW. It's basically the same as the L7, which is why it fires the DM23. It has Commander and Gunner Gen 2 thermals, which is insanely powerful for a vehicle like this, which is a scout. Then you have the LWS-LR, you have the scouting stuff, and you have everything else. It's a fantastic vehicle to play for the kind of scouting role, and it also means if you get up-tiered, you can still do a lot for your team, while also, if anybody pushes you, still hammer them with the gun. So it's just a really nice vehicle in that way. Has no survivability. Its survivability is from the LWSLR, so you know when you're getting targeted, but the actual, like, getting shot, basically, if somebody pings off, if somebody pings a shot off this, that's pretty much your only survivability. You will get torn up by autocannons, so you have to be a bit careful of that. But because of this gun, it gives you a good opportunity as a light tank to be able to deal with MBTs, which is why these vehicles are super fun. So I actually really like the Type 16. I'm a big fan of its setup. I would highly recommend it if you haven't played it. A 9.3 BR right now is a very stable BR. There's a lot of Germans that are playing it right now because it's super powerful for them. But the Type 16 FPS can deal with pretty much all of their vehicles, maybe apart from the Baglet Panzer, which can be a bit annoying. The T2 Early is also on sale. There's no real difference between this and the standard T2 in the tech tree, which is kind of annoying because this vehicle does have a kind of fundamental flaw with it, which makes it a bit annoying to play, especially since they're moving down a lot of vehicles into it. And that fundamental flaw is pretty simple. It is the fact that it doesn't have any countermeasures. And at 9.7, you start running into some pretty crazy missiles. You know, you have the A10s, the Su-25s, but also stuff like the Harriers, which are the same BR, with the 9Gs, which are a great counter to a vehicle like this. The T2 Early is incredibly fast. It is super quick through the air. It has access to the 20mm JM61A1, which is very similar to the Vulcan from the US, which is a fantastic gun to have. They also upgraded its missiles more recently, giving it access to the AIM-9Ps, which you can see here, giving it more use instead of before, where it only had access to AIM-9Es. So it gets 2 of those, and then also gets a variety of bombs if you want to use it as a CAS vehicle. You don't get access to CCIP though, so you're just going to be dumb slinging bombs, which does work, but you know, you got to be careful with it. It does have a radar in it as well, which is very powerful for what it is, and really shouldn't be, but it is at least there. So you have all of these nice features, you just don't have any countermeasures. So you have to stay fast, you have to stay flying very quickly, And there will be situations where you do all the things right and you still just lose to a random missile. So it can be pretty annoying to be able to face up against certain vehicles because of that, because you'll be afraid of kind of going in and trying to fight. I think stuff like the F40J is a much better pick around these BRs because of something like that, but generally you'll still do fine in this thing. I just think it's just got that one weakness is just such a pain in the grand scheme of things. It is very good at getting in and getting out of combat pretty quickly when it comes to its speed, but yeah, it just doesn't have too much survivability, which sucks. The A6M5 Ko is back, and this is a vehicle that basically was a terror for a lot of a lot of people over the years, because it's probably one of the best, if not the best, turn fighters in the game. It used to be at what, 4.7, 4.3, and it just kept going up and up and up in BR because people started turn fighting it for some reason, and this meant that this vehicle could just annihilate stuff. Even at 5.3, where it is right now, it can still annihilate stuff. And basically, it's just very powerful at wandering around the sky. The vehicle has a very good climb rate with its Nakajima Sakai 21 engine. It also, basically, if people attack it and they don't kill it on the first setup, all you have to do is turn and then they burn away. And then you just keep doing that again until they get tired, and then eventually you'll be able to hit them. Very similar to how you play a lot of the Merlin Spitfires. The A6M5 Ko is exactly the same. It's also a demon in arcade because of this, and also pretty good at superiority in ground. One of the things is because it has gone up in BR so many times, there are quite a lot of vehicles that do have at least a really, really nice kind of engine compared to it, so they can kind of boom and zoom and get away and then reset. So you got to be careful of that, but people will get frustrated and eventually start turn fighting you again. The weaponry itself isn't that powerful. The two 20mm Type 99 Model 2s and also the two Type 97 7.7mm. But the idea is you get close enough to the enemy and just whacker, 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 and then go with the kill and then move on to the next one. You do also have some secondary ordnance nowadays, so if you do want to take it into ground, you can do, and you can be a bit of a ruckus as well. So it is definitely something which I would say to pick up, just because it's super fun to play and generally a nice experience. But just understand it is one of those which does have its problems in terms of engine power because of it being so powerful for the longest time. The Yamashiro is also on sale if you are interested in battleships for naval. One of the problems with these packs that are available in the good old tech tree is the simple problem that they're worse than the standard battleships that you'll face. So you're buying a pack basically to get some nice rewards in order to get to the higher ranks, but you're using a worse vehicle than people that you're facing who are using tech tree vehicles. So for me, it's always better to just kind of grind through the tech tree or get a lower tier vehicle to be able to grind through and make it a little bit better. But, you know, if you want to get the battleship experience without grinding anything, then I suppose it's decent to do. But it's just one of those where you're going to be worse off because you're just a step below everything else. I always don't recommend these just because of that. I think generally grinding through the tech tree will be just a lot better because you'll be facing vehicles which you won't just get donked by. But maybe with the new matchmaking in Naval, this one will be better than it was before. We'll have to see what goes on when it comes to the vehicle itself. I just wouldn't recommend it though, just because of those reasons. The starter pack is also on sale. This has the Ki 44 134 in it and also the Chihi 5th Regiment. The Ki 44 is fantastic. It's got a very good speed for its BR. It also has some very nice guns for its BR too, and also just fun flight characteristics. I would definitely recommend this. By the way, when it comes to starter packs, they're always worth it, and when they are discounted. So this one is $7. You get 2 premiums. You get 7 days of premium account. You get 120,000 or 1,200,000 SL, it's easily worth it across the board. And you get two vehicles which you can start the tech tree off, the Chi-He 5th Regiment and also the Ki-44. Both are very good. The Ki-44 is definitely better compared to the Chi-He, where it is in the tech tree. Chi-He struggles a little bit with the 47mm at 2.7, does a decent amount of post-pen damage, but penetrating can be an issue. And then also at the same time, you don't have a ton of armor on the vehicle, so it is a little bit hard to start off. You do have the vertical stabilizer on the gun though, which means that you are pretty decent at getting the first shot off in most cases, but you will have to flank quite a lot with this machine. But I would say the starter pack overall, even just for the Ki-44, if you don't want to use the Chi-He, is a fantastic pickup. Now, the A6M5 Ko is available for a pack, but if you just want to purchase it for GE, you can do in the game. So this is available for all console people if you are interested. And as I said, I would highly recommend it. The other vehicles that are available for GE, you have the J2M4 Kai, which is this one right here at 5.0. This vehicle has very good firepower, and also the J2s in general just have really nice engines with good power capabilities. It has access to the Mitsubishi Hi 32, which gives it a lot of horsepower, meaning that you can motor around the sky at this BR. And as I've said, I really enjoy the J2s, whether it's the M5, the M3, the M2, the M4 Kai is no different, and with the fact that it has this really nice armament of the 420mm, which is something you don't usually get with Japan. Usually the armament kind of sucks, but this one definitely is a lot better than most. It still has the Waka Waka guns, but at least you get two sets of them. It does also have access to the 60-kilo bombs, which most of the Japanese fighters have nowadays, but mainly you use this as an air superiority fighter, and you'll do really well in it. It has a great rate of climb. It's able to pretty much do anything on the battlefield. It's very much a versatile vehicle, and if you haven't played any of the series, I highly recommend it. The other one is the Kiyoshimo. This one is available in the Blue Water Fleet. You can find it here at 4.7. Basically, what the Kiyoshimo is a pretty standard Japanese destroyer. You have access to the 3 dual 127mm, one on the front, 2 on the back, and then you have access to the torpedoes, the Type 93 Model 3s. These are not as good as some of the other torpedoes you'll find around. Most of the great ones, like on the Shimakaze, for example, go 20 kilometers, but on this thing they only go 15. 15 is still very good, and the speed in general is also very good. So I would say, you've got a pretty good time with that. The 25mm and the 13.2mm are pretty much useless on this machine, so you're basically using it as a torpedo slinger, and I feel like there are just better options than this. The Udachi comes to mind, and also stuff like the Shimakaze in that way. The rewards on it are really nice though, especially for SL. So if you're looking for an SL grinder, which is, available, this one wouldn't be too bad. But you could just wait for the G cells and pick up like a Moffat, or pick up something like, the Wilkinson, or not the Wilkinson, but the Mitscher, sorry, and have a good time with that. Since this one, you are heavily reliant on torpedoes and not really a lot else. So that is, the Kiyoshimo was the original kind of destroyer premium that came out for Japan, so it's also got that historical part of it. But since it's not really discounted, I don't think it's worth it. That's all the vehicles that are on offer. Make sure to get yourself access to all of the different holiday things going on. You can see them all here once you've activated the code, and then you can get yourself some fun stuff. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.